And we're all looking at each other because we're in Patna in the chief minister's house. He is the sitting chief minister. There's security and chamchas. And me and Raghu from the Roadies, who was the producer, and 3-4 other MTV boys, we're standing there.
Cyrus,
What?
people tolerate you.
Not
And then
really.
pay you some.
Even less. Yeah.
Amazing.
I don't understand that. But now there's lots of talent out there, so there's less work. And hence I'm here. Also because what happened to Johnny Lever, who was supposed to be here and then last minute cancelled. Brian called. We share the same surname on my mother's side, as in I have a Tellis mother's side name, whatever that means. So he called and said, "Bro, just come in and take one for the team. And we'll do it quick and fast, like I told my wife, and this is where we are."
Is that right? Quick and
That's
fast?
right.
And
That's
she
right.
bought it?
Well, it's just quick now. She hasn't bought anything.
At least you're...
May have to buy some instruments. I'm in my 50s. Yeah.
I could be instrumental, in that plan. Let me know.
Really?
Yeah.
That's where... By the way, he's a great entrepreneur. I don't know if he ever talks to you about all the things that he started. Because people probably only think of you as well, my generation will think of you as the voice. The first big voice on radio. As we got privatized, definitely the first big voice. And then from there, all the events and everything else. And now what? You've got a bordello, you run a bar, you got an NGO for one-legged donkeys. I mean, all kinds of things.
And I hang with Cyrus Broacha.
That's just today, bro. He's never going to call me again. This is it.
That's the most difficult thing I continue to do, Cyrus.
I'm holding on to this couch because I know when I'll come back. Yeah.
I'm worried for the couch, but we'll move on.
Yeah.
So tell us, in spite of being such a loser, I mean,
It's almost like Aisha, my wife's interviewing me.
how do you do everything you do, man?
This reminds me, and I don't want to brag, it sounds like I'm bragging, but MTV sent me, for these HIV/AIDS awareness campaigns, I was the brand ambassador for MTV, and I'll explain why. Because Malaika's very sexy, Nikhil was, like the rugged male and all that, and all of them were good looking. So they said, who's the one person no one associates with sex? Me. So they said, you go as the brand ambassador because it's easy then for you to, get the message across. So it doesn't get distorted into sexuality and all that. So I did that. Anyway, so I got to meet lots of big people, famous people. Bill Clinton was one of them. So I came back from Barcelona full of myself because I had this great exchange with him, blah, blah, blah. And I remember coming home, a late night flight and all that. I went and had a bath and then I came up to have dinner, whatever middle class mother would make food at that time for you while your wife slept. And so I came up and I remember I said, "Mom, Bill Clinton knows my first name." And I remember she looked at me and said, "But did you put off the geyser?" And I just brought everything down, It's like, you just done. I remember thinking, what a loser, really, what a loser.
It gets worse, right?
It gets worse.
It gets worse.
Yeah.
What about LALU PRASAD YADAV?
His story was, the thing with LALU is, and LALU ji, if you watch this, first he speaks English. He's an LLB and he has a Bihari accent, but he speaks English properly. So I, of course, with my broken Hindi, was trying to talk to him first and he refused to speak back in Hindi. And then he asked me a question which I could not answer. He said, MTV kya hai? What is the MTV? And what is MTV? I have no idea. I mean, how do you answer that? So I said, sorry, music channel. It's a music channel. Can you? So he looks at me for a minute and he says, music. And he sang some KL Saigal song for 8 minutes. One really, one of those, Asman upar, zameen niche, mera pair khali hai, mera gaan piche, whatever. Sorry, excuse my French. And we're all looking at each other because we're in Patna in the chief minister's house. He is the sitting chief minister. There's security and chamchas. And me and Raghu from the Roadies, who was the producer, and 3-4 other MTV boys, we're standing there. And we can't cut him. And then they're looking at me and Raghu's like, Raghu, the great, fighter on Roadies, is with his finger, 1-inch movement, like to cut LALU. I said, you cut LALU? Are you going to tell him, boss, both ho gaya, mere ko baat karne ka abhi. So I had to listen for 8 minutes. He sang and not the most gifted singer, but yeah, whatever. So
listen, you can't be complaining about him not being the most gifted singer.
Yeah.
Please.
So, well, I can hold a note. Yeah. You only heard me singing when I'm drunk and misbehaving, Baba. You see me early morning. Spend the night with me, Brian. Wake up with
me.
It's hold my hand, comfort me, kiss me, caress me, braid my hair.
That's what I'm worried about. Which is why meeting midday.
Yeah. Is it midday?
Yeah.
I thought you were times.
Yeah, I know.
That's a pride moment. I give you a pride moment. It's a pride moment.
And then it gets worse, like I said. And then it gets worse.
Yeah.
Sheila Dikshit, I believe, is a really good friend of yours.
Passed away. The thing is, Sheila Dikshit's story is that, again, for HIV, we went to Thailand, to Bangkok, for this huge conference. And Richard Gere and all these people were there. So the plane, I was on the same plane with her. There was some 30 Congress, she was the sitting chief minister. And I had luck with chief ministers then, pre-2014, they would talk to me. And so we got into the plane together. But she had these 10 security guards and all that, and PAs and all that. But once we entered, they put me in business class also. She was sitting next to me, and all these guys disappeared. And Brian, I couldn't believe this was like talking to my own mom. She was so sweet, and she was worried for me because I looked like a Bola guy, and I hate traveling. And I was worried, and I told her all my problems. MTV sending me there, but I don't even know the hotel name. The usual thing. And I didn't have a mobile phone, so I was explaining to her all my problems. And we started talking and chatting, and she was like comforting me and telling. And then she told me all kinds of stories. I was very impressed with her. I had a great time, I must say.
Was she impressed with you?
I think she just looked at me as an NGO or something, that she had to look after for the plane ride. But she was really nice.
Yeah, no, I believe so.
Very maternal and very sophisticated. Spoke perfect English. We discussed literature, history, all kinds of things. And, I just had a new idea because you have wrong information about some of these guys and stereotypes about some of these guys.
The smile on my face is because you said you all were discussing literature and speaking in English.
Okay, so maybe a bit high for me, but it was okay for her. Okay, I just have to act. Yeah, I just remember names. Bernard Shaw, whatever. Yeah.